Pikachu. Before Pikachu ever became Ash's partner, his story began as a Pichu. Unlike most young Pokémon who grow up safely within their groups, this Pichu was abandoned. His electrical power was unstable and dangerous, causing other Pokémon to avoid him. Alone, he struggled to survive until an encounter changed his life. While wandering, he was poisoned by a group of coughing and tumbled down a mountain. There, he was saved by a kind Kangaskhan, who treated him as one of her own children. For a time, Pichu thrived within this Kangaskhan family. He bonded with the mother and her baby, playing and traveling alongside them as siblings. But Pichu soon realized the burden he created. Kangaskhan mothers are meant to care for a single child, and dividing resources between her own baby and Pichu wore her down. Seeing her exhaustion, Pichu decided that leaving was the best way to ensure her child's survival. One night, he quietly departed, waving goodbye without explanation. The weight of this decision, made out of love and sacrifice, filled Pichu with strong emotion. In the Pokemon world, when a Pichu feels enough happiness through emotional growth, it evolves. This was the moment Pichu became Pikachu. Years later, Pikachu was captured by Professor Oak. Unlike most starter Pokemon, Pikachu wasn't assigned immediately. His stubborn, headstrong personality made him difficult to handle. When Ash arrived late on his first day as a trainer, the traditional starters, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, were already taken. Oak reluctantly gave him Pikachu, who refused Pokeballs and openly defied Ash. Their relationship began with tension. Pikachu mocked Ash, ignored commands, and refused to battle. The turning point came during an attack by a flock of Spearow. Ash shielded Pikachu with his own body, vowing to protect him even if it cost his life. In response, Pikachu unleashed a powerful thunder shock that saved them both. From that moment, respect and trust formed between trainer and Pokemon, creating a bond that defined Ash's journey. Pikachu quickly became Ash's ace. In gym battles, he displayed creativity beyond raw power. For example, during Ash's fight against Brock, Pikachu set off the sprinklers to weaken Onix with water, then delivered the finishing electric strike. Pikachu also faced Lieutenant Surge's Raichu, who had an overwhelming power advantage. Ash considered evolving Pikachu with a Thunderstone, but Pikachu rejected it, choosing to prove his own strength. Using his superior speed, Pikachu defeated Raichu and showed he didn't need to evolve to succeed. Their bond was tested when Ash briefly tried to release Pikachu into a wild group of Pikachu, thinking he might be happier there. Although Pikachu enjoyed the company of his own kind, he chose to return to Ash, confirming their inseparable loyalty. This was reinforced again in the first Pokemon movie, when Ash was turned to stone. Pikachu's tears, alongside those of the other Pokemon, brought him back to life, an unforgettable symbol of their connection. By the time of the Indigo League, Pikachu had grown into Ash's most dependable partner. Though Ash lost in the tournament, Pikachu was the one who lifted his spirits afterward, completing the cycle that began when Ash risked everything to save him. Pikachu was not only the face of Ash's team, but the heart of his entire journey. Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur was the first Kanto starter that Ash caught, but unlike Charmander or Squirtle, Bulbasaur wasn't abandoned by a cruel trainer. He had chosen to live as the protector of others. Ash first encountered him while traveling through a forest with Misty and Brock. When Misty attempted to capture an Oddish, Bulbasaur appeared, intercepting her Pokeball and defending Oddish with surprising ferocity. To Bulbasaur, humans were dangerous intruders, and he made it clear that he wanted them gone. This Bulbasaur wasn't just territorial, he was the guardian of an entire hidden village. The village was maintained by Melanie, a kind woman who nursed injured or abandoned Pokemon back to health. Bulbasaur had taken on the responsibility of protecting this sanctuary, setting elaborate traps to keep humans away and battling anyone who posed a threat. His hostility toward Ash and his friends wasn't random. It came from years of seeing Pokemon abused, abandoned, or captured against their will. To him, all humans represented danger. Despite this, Ash proved himself different. When Team Rocket attacked the village, Ash defended the Pokemon rather than exploiting them. Bulbasaur witnessed a trainer who would put himself at risk for the sake of others. Melanie recognized Ash's sincerity and encouraged Bulbasaur to join him, believing Ash could give him a future beyond simply guarding the forest. After a brief battle to test Ash's worth, Bulbasaur allowed himself to be caught, officially joining the team. Bulbasaur's role on Ash's squad quickly became unique. He was reliable in battle, using moves like Vine Whip, Razor Leaf, and later Solar Beam to secure victories. But more importantly, he became the mediator of Ash's team, often settling disputes among other Pokemon. His calm, level-headed nature balanced out the fiery arrogance of Charizard and the playful recklessness of Squirtle. Among the team, He was the stabilizer. A major turning point came during the Bulbasaur Evolution Festival. Wild Bulbasaur gathered to evolve into Ivysaur under the guidance of a Venusaur. Ash's Bulbasaur, however, resisted the transformation. He had seen how Charmander's evolution into Charmeleon had damaged his bond with Ash, turning loyalty into rebellion. Fearing he might lose his own closeness to Ash, Bulbasaur chose to remain as he was. When the Venusaur tried to force evolution, Bulbasaur stood firm, battling back and earning Ash's full support. That moment cemented his identity. He would remain a Bulbasaur forever, proving his strength without changing form. Later, Bulbasaur mastered Solar Beam, an advanced move usually learned only after evolution. This made him deceptively powerful, able to defeat opponents who underestimated him. But his greatest contribution wasn't just his battle strength. At Professor Oak's lab, where Ash's many Pokémon often clashed, Bulbasaur acted as the peacemaker, keeping order and preventing chaos. Oak and Ash both recognized that this was where Bulbasaur truly belonged, leading and protecting, just as he had when Ash first met him. Though Bulbasaur returned for special battles and reunions, his story arc remained consistent. The steadfast guardian who chose loyalty over evolution, leadership over glory, and balance over rivalry. He was the quiet strength of Ash's original team. Charmander. Charmander's story is one of the most dramatic of Ash's original team. Ash first encountered him sitting alone on a rock, waiting faithfully for his trainer, Damien. At first glance, Charmander seemed merely patient, but the truth was heartbreaking. Damien had abandoned him, deeming him too weak. Despite this cruelty, Charmander clung to hope that his trainer would return. In the Pokémon world, a Charmander's flame represents its life force. The heavy rain pouring that night threatened to extinguish it completely. If the flame went out, Charmander would die. Ash and his friends overheard Damien bragging about leaving Charmander behind. Outraged, they rushed to save him. After fending off an attack from Spearows and wrapping Charmander in blankets to protect his tail flame, they brought him to the Pokémon Center. There, his health was restored. But emotionally, he was still torn between loyalty to Damien and the kindness Ash had shown. The turning point came when Damien tried to reclaim Charmander only after seeing his true power in battle. This time, Charmander rejected him, using Flamethrower to drive Damien away, and chose to join Ash's team. As a Charmander, he was loyal, hardworking, and eager to prove himself. He battled with courage far beyond his size, even saving the team during a snowstorm by keeping them warm with his tail flame. His rapid growth through battles, however, led to a sudden evolution into Charmeleons after defeating a horde of Executor. What should have been a triumph became a turning point for the worse. Charmeleon's personality shifted completely. No longer obedient, he ignored Ash's commands and acted recklessly in battle. This disobedience wasn't random. It reflected a mechanic from the games where Pokémon of too high a level disobey trainers without enough badges. In the anime, it symbolized Charmeleon's belief that Ash was too inexperienced to be his trainer. Matters worsened when Charmeleon evolved again into Charizard. Though immensely powerful, Charizard respected only opponents he considered strong. Against Blaine's Magmar, he fought with everything he had, even inventing his signature move, Seismic Toss, to win. But in ordinary matches, or against trainers he didn't respect, he often refused to fight, even lying down mid-battle. This arrogance cost Ash dearly in the Indigo League. Facing Richie, Ash's last hope was Charizard, though he easily defeated Richie's weaker Charmander when Richie sent out Pikachu. Charizard refused to battle, unimpressed by the opponent's strength. His refusal led to Ash's elimination, shattering the team's dreams of victory. The turning point came in the Orange Islands. Ash used Charizard against a powerful Poliwrath, but Charizard was frozen and defeated. Ash spent the entire night by his side, thawing him, massaging his body, and refusing to leave him alone until he recovered. For the first time, Charizard realized that Ash's care was genuine, that Ash valued him not just for power, but as a partner. From then on, Charizard's loyalty was reborn. Together, they became unstoppable, carrying Ash to victory in the Orange League. Eventually, Ash brought Charizard to the Cherisific Valley, where wild Charizard trained under Liza. There, his arrogance was humbled. Every other Charizard was stronger than him. He trained relentlessly, choosing to stay behind to improve himself. Ash, though saddened, recognized this was the best path for his partner. Their parting was emotional, with Ash promising they would meet again as equals. Charizard's journey reflected themes of abandonment, pride, rebellion, and eventual redemption. From a loyal Charmander nearly left to die, to a defiant Charizard who nearly cost Ash everything, and finally to a trusted powerhouse who chose growth over comfort. Charizard embodied both the struggles and triumphs of Ash's first team. Squirtle. Squirtle's backstory began with rejection, just like many of Ash's early Pokémon. He was the leader of the Squirtle Squad, a group of Squirtles abandoned by their original trainers. Without guidance, they turned to mischief, pranking townspeople, vandalizing property, and causing chaos wherever they went. Their behavior wasn't rooted in malice, but in anger and mistrust of humans. Having been discarded, they chose to rebel against the society that had cast them out. Ash and his friends first encountered the Squirtle Squad when they fell into one of their traps. Pikachu was poisoned during the encounter, leaving him gravely ill. Despite tying up Ash and his friends, the leader Squirtle, the very same one who would later join Ash, showed a spark of compassion. When Ash begged to be released to find medicine for Pikachu, the leader agreed, on the condition that Ash return. This decision planted the seed for trust between Squirtle and Ash. Soon after, Team Rocket manipulated the Squirtle Squad, using their hatred of humans to trick them into attacking Ash's group. But when Team Rocket set off explosives that caused a forest fire, Squirtle witnessed Ash's bravery firsthand. Ash risked himself to save both his friends and Pokémon, while Team Rocket only caused destruction. During the crisis, Squirtle and Ash fought side by side, saving Pikachu and helping to extinguish the flames. This act of heroism changed how the town saw the Squirtle Squad. Instead of criminals, they became heroes, even being appointed as a firefighting unit by Officer Jenny. Yet the leader Squirtle made a different choice. When Ash prepared to leave town, Squirtle followed, removing his trademark sunglasses to reveal a genuine eagerness to join Ash's journey. This symbolized him stepping away from rebellion and toward companionship. From then on, Squirtle was officially part of Ash's core team. As Ash's partner, Squirtle quickly grew close to Bulbasaur. The two often teamed up in both battles and comedic moments, creating a dynamic balance between Bulbasaur's seriousness and Squirtle's mischievous streak. Squirtle wasn't always Ash's strongest fighter, but he proved himself resourceful. During the Orange Islands, he learned Hydro Pump, giving him the raw power to match opponents that had previously overwhelmed him. Though he often played a supportive or comedic role, Squirtle was capable of pulling through in crucial battles. One of his most defining moments came in Johto. Ash entered a firefighting competition, where Squirtle reunited with both the Squirtle Squad and a team of Wartortle firefighters. The reunion rekindled Squirtle's bond with his old squad, and he realized they missed his leadership. By the end of the competition, Squirtle made the difficult decision to leave Ash and return to his squad as their captain, dedicating himself to saving lives as a firefighter. Though Squirtle was no longer a permanent member of Ash's traveling team, he returned in later battles, including league tournaments, and reunited with the group in Pokémon Journeys. By then, Squirtle had become somewhat of a celebrity in Kanto, known for his firefighting heroism. Squirtle's story was one of transformation, from abandoned troublemaker to loyal partner to respected leader. His journey proved that even those cast aside could find purpose through trust, courage, and second chances. Caterpie. Caterpie was Ash's very first successful capture. Unlike Pikachu, who was given to Ash, Caterpie represented Ash's determination to become a real trainer. However, the capture came with its own challenges. Caterpie was timid and gentle, often looked down on for being weak. Misty openly disliked him, calling him disgusting, which hurt Caterpie but didn't stop him from trying to prove himself. Despite his fragile nature, Caterpie quickly showed resilience. He dreamed of evolving into a Butterfree, and Ash encouraged him every step of the way. Early in their journey, Caterpie battled Team Rocket and managed to win against overwhelming odds, showing courage that surprised even Misty. After another battle with a wild Pidgeotto, Caterpie evolved into Metapod, taking a major step toward his goal. As a Metapod, he endured one of the most grueling trials in Ash's early journey, the infamous Metapod standoff against another trainer's Metapod. Though played for humor, it emphasized his growth in patience and endurance. Not long after, Metapod risked himself to protect Ash from a Beedrill swarm. This act of bravery triggered his evolution into Butterfree, granting him wings, new strength, and powerful moves like Sleep Powder and Stun Spore. As Butterfree, he became a valuable member of Ash's team. He was versatile in battles, often using status moves to disable opponents rather than relying solely on brute force. This made him a tactical asset during gym battles and encounters with Team Rocket. His loyalty to Ash was unwavering, and he finally gained Misty's respect, showing how far he had come from the ridiculed Caterpie she had once despised. But Butterfree's defining moment came not in battle, but in love. During the Butterfree migration season, Ash's Butterfree fell for a pink Butterfree. Initially, she rejected him. Determined to win her affection, Butterfree battled fiercely against rivals, proving his courage and devotion. Eventually, his persistence was rewarded, and she accepted him. This left Ash with one of the hardest decisions of his journey. He realized Butterfree deserved the chance to live freely and start a family. Though it broke his heart, Ash released him, telling him to go and be happy. It was the first time Ash willingly let go of a Pokémon, showing his growth as a trainer who valued his partner's happiness above his own ambitions. Butterfree's release became one of the most emotional moments of the early anime, setting a precedent for future goodbyes with Pokémon like Pidgeotto and Lapras. For Ash, it was the painful but necessary lesson that being a trainer wasn't just about catching and battling, it was about understanding when to let go. Butterfree's journey was short compared to others on Ash's team, but it carried immense emotional weight. From the weak Caterpie who longed for acceptance, to the brave Butterfree who found love and freedom, his story captured the theme of growth, courage, and bittersweet farewells that defined Ash's earliest adventures. Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto was Ash's second capture, caught not long after Caterpie. Unlike Caterpie, who was timid and weak, Pidgeotto was strong and immediately dependable. This made him one of Ash's most practical team members in the early days, giving Ash an aerial advantage that none of his other Pokémon could provide. From the beginning, Pidgeotto was used for scouting, tracking, and battling, becoming a versatile asset in both travel and combat. In battle, Pidgeotto often fought against Team Rocket, using his speed and aerial attacks to outmaneuver their tricks. Moves like Gust and Quick Attack made him reliable, and he frequently disrupted Team Rocket's schemes by blowing them away. Beyond his role in fighting, Pidgeotto often acted as Ash's eyes in the sky, scouting ahead to find safe paths, locate Pokémon, or keep watch over dangerous areas. This utility made him indispensable to the team's daily survival. As time went on, Pidgeotto grew stronger, but remained somewhat overshadowed by the more dramatic arcs of Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. He rarely had emotional storylines of his own, but his consistency made him a steady presence. He was the quiet workhorse of Ash's original roster, the Pokémon who was always there when needed, but seldom in the spotlight. His most defining moment came much later, when Ash and his friends were attacked by a flock of Pidgey and a powerful Fearow. In the battle, Pidgeotto evolved into Pidgeot, gaining immense strength and speed. With his new power, he turned the tide, defeating the Fearow and protecting the entire flock of Pidgey. This marked his transformation from reliable partner to full-fledged guardian. In the aftermath, Ash made one of his toughest decisions. He left Pidgeot behind to continue protecting the flock. Just as he had released Butterfree to live freely, he trusted Pidgeot to stay and defend his kin. Ash promised he would return for him one day, a vow that underscored the emotional weight of their separation. Though Ash's promise to reunite with Pidgey was left unfulfilled for many years in the anime, the choice highlighted the recurring theme of Ash's journey, putting his Pokemon's needs above his own. Pidgeot's departure showed Ash's growth in maturity, proving he understood that being a good trainer sometimes meant letting go. Pidgeotto and Pidgeot may not have had the most screen time compared to Pikachu, Charizard, or Squirtle, but their story carried the same emotional message. From early reliability to ultimate sacrifice, Pidgeot represented loyalty, strength, and the selflessness required of both Pokémon and trainer.